God says, "Beloved soul, listen calmly and without fear, because this message is not meant to rush you or disturb your peace. It is meant to bring understanding." There are moments in life when your presence begins to speak louder than your words, when the way you carry yourself quietly leaves an impression on others. This is not because you are trying to be noticed, but because growth has changed your energy. God says, someone has been noticing you, not in a way that should alarm you, but in a way that reflects awareness. They see consistency where there used to be uncertainty. They sense calm where there was once tension. What they are responding to is not an image or a moment. It is the steadiness you now carry. Beloved soul, when a person grows internally, their energy becomes grounded. Grounded energy is felt. It creates curiosity, reflection, and sometimes admiration. This is natural. Awareness recognizes awareness. Depth recognizes depth. What is being noticed about you is not something external. It is who you have become through patience, self-reflection, and quiet resilience. God says, you have walked through seasons that refined you. You learned to slow down. You learned to observe instead of react. You learned to remain centered even when life felt uncertain. These lessons reshaped your presence. People may not know your story, but they can feel its result. Right now, Archangel Michael stands as a guardian of clarity and balance. He is not warning you of danger, and he is not creating urgency. He is reminding you to remain grounded. When attention comes, wisdom keeps you steady. You do not need to respond to every reaction. You only need to remain authentic. Beloved soul, it is important to understand this clearly. Being noticed does not mean being exposed. Awareness does not mean vulnerability. When you are aligned within yourself, you are protected by clarity. You do not need to change how you move. You do not need to hide. You simply continue living honestly. God says, sometimes people interpret what they feel using their own language and beliefs. Some call it intuition. Some call it insight. Some simply feel a pull they cannot explain. What matters is not the label, but the truth beneath it. Your life has depth. Depth is felt before it is understood. Beloved soul, do not let attention distract you from your peace. Attention is neutral. How you respond to it determines its effect. You are learning not to seek validation and not to fear observation. This balance keeps you grounded and confident. God says, your role is not to manage how others perceive you. Your role is to remain aligned. Alignment creates a presence that does not need defense. When you live from truth, misunderstanding passes, curiosity settles, and respect grows naturally. Beloved soul, the message here is not about someone watching you. It is about you recognizing your own growth. You have changed. Your energy has matured. Your presence is calmer and more centered. This is why it is noticed. Archangel Michael remains near, ensuring that awareness does not turn into self-consciousness. He understands that humility protects wisdom. You do not need to elevate yourself or diminish yourself. You simply need to stay present. God says, continue walking with calm confidence. Let your life speak through consistency, integrity, and peace. What is genuine does not need urgency to be recognized. It unfolds naturally. Beloved soul, remain steady. What is being noticed about you is not meant to disturb you. It is meant to confirm that growth has taken place. God says, beloved soul, now that you understand your presence is being noticed. It is important to understand what this moment truly asks of you. It does not ask you to become alert or cautious. It does not ask you to question yourself or your path. It asks you to remain grounded. Awareness from others is not a signal to change who you are. It is often a reflection of how much you have already changed on the inside. God says, when someone notices you more closely, it is usually because your inner state has become stable enough to be felt. Stability carries weight. Calm carries authority. People sense it even when they cannot explain why. This does not mean they understand you fully. It means they recognize something consistent and real. Beloved soul, you are learning that confidence does not come from attention, and it is not shaken by it either. True confidence lives quietly. It does not rise with praise or fall with curiosity. It stays rooted. This is the kind of confidence forming within you now. God says, there was a time when being noticed might have made you uncomfortable or uncertain. You may have wondered how you were being seen or what was being assumed about you. But now, your inner clarity protects you. You no longer define yourself through other people's reactions. You know who you are becoming. Beloved soul, awareness from others can sometimes reveal something important. Your boundaries are working. When you stop over-explaining, stop over-giving, and stop seeking approval, your presence changes. It becomes calm. Calm draws attention naturally because it is rare in a noisy world. God says, you do not need to respond to every reaction. Silence is not avoidance. It is discernment. You are allowed to remain private while still being open. You are allowed to be seen without being available to everyone. Right now, Archangel Michael stands as a guardian of balance, reminding you that strength is not proven through reaction, but through steadiness. He is not asking you to engage or withdraw. He is guiding you to remain centered. When you stay centered, nothing external can disturb your peace. Beloved soul, healthy boundaries form naturally when self-respect grows. You begin to choose when to speak and when to remain quiet. You no longer feel obligated to clarify yourself to those who have not earned understanding. This is not distance. This is maturity. God says, as awareness increases around you, so does responsibility to yourself. Responsibility not to perform, but to protect your inner calm. Attention can be neutral. It only becomes heavy when you allow it to influence how you see yourself. You are learning not to do that anymore. Beloved soul, notice how your reactions have softened. You do not rush to correct assumptions. You do not feel the need to explain your intentions. You trust that what is real will reveal itself over time. This patience keeps you grounded. God says, people often notice what they cannot imitate. Calm focus. Emotional stability. quiet self-assurance. These qualities are built, not borrowed. You built them through experience, reflection, and choice. That is why they cannot be taken from you. Beloved soul, your growth is not meant to isolate you. It is meant to refine your connections. Some people will step closer with respect. Others will remain curious from a distance. You do not need to manage either. Alignment handles that naturally. God says, confidence deepens when you stop scanning your environment for approval or threat. You are present. You are steady. You are aware without being tense. This state of being allows life to meet you gently. Beloved soul, being noticed does not change your purpose. It confirms your progress. You are not required to become more or less than you already are. You simply continue walking in clarity, integrity, and calm. God says, let this awareness strengthen you, not distract you. Let it remind you how far you have come. Let it encourage you to stay aligned rather than alert. Archangel Michael remains near, ensuring that your confidence stays humble and your humility stays strong. He understands that balance is what protects growth. Beloved soul, stay grounded. Stay calm. What is being noticed in you is not something you need to guard against. It is something you have earned through inner work. God says, beloved soul, now that you have learned to remain grounded even when you are noticed, something beautiful begins to happen naturally. Life starts responding to you differently. Not because you demanded attention, and not because you changed yourself to be accepted, but because calm confidence has become part of who you are. When calm replaces tension, clarity replaces confusion, and opportunity begins to recognize you. God says, opportunities do not always arrive loudly. Often, they appear quietly, through conversations that feel easy, ideas that feel clear, and paths that no longer feel forced. You may notice that things begin to line up without you pushing. This is not coincidence. This is alignment at work. Beloved soul, grounded confidence changes how you move through the world. You listen more carefully. You speak with intention. You choose wisely instead of quickly. These qualities make people feel safe around you. Safety builds trust. Trust opens doors. This is how opportunity grows naturally. God says, there was a time when you chased outcomes, hoping something would finally work out. But now, you are allowing outcomes to develop. You understand that what belongs to you does not require force. This understanding protects you from burnout and disappointment. It keeps your energy clean. Beloved soul, you may notice that the right people begin to appear at the right moments. Conversations feel meaningful instead of draining. Opportunities feel supportive instead of overwhelming. This is how you will know that your inner calm is shaping your external world. Right now, Archangel Michael stands as a guardian of discernment, ensuring that you recognize alignment when it appears. He is not urging you to rush or warning you of loss. He is guiding you to move with wisdom. When opportunity meets clarity, growth becomes sustainable. Beloved soul, calm confidence also helps you recognize what is not meant for you. You no longer feel tempted by everything that looks impressive. You sense when something would disturb your peace. This discernment is a form of protection. It keeps your path clean and your direction steady. God says, the more you trust your inner guidance, the clearer your choices become. You are no longer afraid of missing out. You understand that forcing your way into the wrong place creates more problems than waiting for the right one. This patience strengthens your future. Beloved soul, you may feel that life is becoming simpler. Not smaller, but clearer. Fewer emotional battles. Fewer unnecessary explanations. More intentional action. This simplicity allows your energy to focus on what truly matters. God says, when you carry yourself with calm authority, others respond with respect. You do not need to dominate or impress. Presence does that naturally. This respect opens pathways that effort alone could not. Beloved soul, destiny often moves quietly. It aligns moments, people, and decisions over time. You are learning to recognize these moments without anxiety. You act when action is clear. You wait when waiting feels right. This balance keeps you aligned. God says, the opportunities forming around you now will not demand that you abandon yourself. They will respect your values. They will feel manageable. They will grow with you rather than consume you. This is how you know they are meant for you. Beloved soul, your life is entering a flow where growth feels steady instead of stressful. You are no longer proving yourself. You are expressing yourself. This shift changes everything. Archangel Michael remains near, ensuring that humility and confidence remain balanced within you. He understands that when confidence becomes loud, it loses clarity. When it remains calm, it becomes powerful. You are learning this balance now. Beloved soul, trust this phase. Do not rush it. What is aligning now is responding to who you have become, not who you used to be. Your calm presence is shaping your destiny quietly and beautifully. God says, remain grounded. Remain aware. Let life meet you where you are aligned. What is meant for you will recognize you without force. God says, beloved soul, now that your calm confidence has begun shaping your life and the right opportunities have started aligning with you, something deeper begins to happen within you. It is not excitement. It is not urgency. It is stability. A quiet, reassuring sense that you no longer need to search so hard for meaning, because meaning has begun to live inside the way you move through each day. God says, this is the stage where life stops feeling like a constant test. You no longer wake up bracing yourself emotionally. You no longer replay conversations or decisions late into the night. Your mind begins to rest. Your heart begins to trust. This does not happen because everything is perfect, but because you have learned how to stay steady even when things are uncertain. Beloved soul, fulfillment at this level does not come from achievements alone. It comes from alignment. You feel fulfilled because your actions match your values. You speak more honestly. You choose more carefully. You give your energy only where it feels right. This integrity creates peace that no external success can replace. God says, Many people chase change, but very few allow themselves to settle into it. You are learning how to let stability become your foundation instead of fearing it. Stability does not trap you. It supports you. It gives you space to grow without constantly proving yourself. Beloved soul, you may notice that your reactions have softened. Things that once triggered anxiety now invite reflection. Situations that once felt overwhelming now feel manageable. This is emotional security taking root. You trust yourself enough to handle what comes, so fear loses its grip. Right now, Archangel Michael stands quietly as a guardian of this new foundation. He is not speaking loudly. He is not pushing you forward. He is protecting what has been built inside you. He understands that when peace arrives, it must be honored, not questioned. Beloved soul, life begins to feel lighter not because responsibilities disappear, but because you are no longer carrying unnecessary emotional weight. You stop taking things personally that are not meant to define you. You stop over-explaining your choices. You allow others to have their opinions without letting them disturb your inner calm. God says, this phase is where confidence becomes natural. You do not need validation to move forward. You trust your judgment. You trust your timing. You trust that what belongs to you will not require struggle. This trust allows you to enjoy progress instead of fearing loss. Beloved soul, your relationships now feel more balanced. You no longer feel responsible for fixing, saving, or convincing others. You show up honestly and allow others to do the same. This mutual respect creates connections that feel nourishing instead of draining. God says, stability also sharpens your focus. You become more intentional with your time. You invest energy where it brings growth instead of stress. You understand that saying no is not rejection, it is self-respect. This clarity protects your peace and strengthens your path. Beloved soul, you may notice a new kind of gratitude forming within you. Not the forced kind that ignores pain, but a quiet appreciation for how far you have come. You recognize the strength it took to release what no longer aligned. You honor the patience that brought you here. This gratitude anchors you in the present. God says, your future no longer feels like something you must control. It feels like something you can trust. You plan without anxiety. You dream without pressure. You move forward without rushing. This calm approach allows life to meet you halfway. Beloved soul, fulfillment also brings humility. You remain open to learning. You do not cling to rigid identities. You allow yourself to evolve naturally. This flexibility keeps your growth honest and your spirit light. Archangel Michael remains near, ensuring that comparison does not disturb this peace. He understands that your journey does not need to resemble anyone else's. You are moving at the right pace for your soul. Honor it. God says, this stage of life is not loud. It is deep. It is where joy becomes steady instead of fleeting. Where purpose feels lived instead of imagined. Where peace becomes familiar instead of rare. Beloved soul, you are no longer surviving. You are participating in your life fully. You trust yourself. You trust your growth. You trust the process that brought you here. This trust is the greatest reward of alignment. God says, let this stability settle fully into you. Do not rush past it. What grows from peace lasts. What is built on clarity endures. This foundation will support every chapter that follows. Beloved soul, this is not the end of your journey. It is the moment where everything finally feels grounded enough to grow beautifully. Remain calm. Remain present. What you have become will carry you forward with ease. If this message brought peace and completion to your heart, type Amen and receive it gently. Stay connected, your journey continues in clarity.